What you just heard features a line made up of fifths based on John Coltrane's giant step cycle. Want to learn how to use this and other similar lines to modulate outside using any chord progression? And keep watching. Hi, I'm Richie Zellon, and if this is your first time on the Jazz Guitar channel, please consider subscribing. And be sure to click the bell icon so you'll be notified of future lessons. In this video, I want to show you how to use two patterns. They are based entirely on perfect fifths and can be used to modulate outside any set of changes. Now, maybe you're new to this business of playing outside. Well, this is a concept employed by many post-bop improvisers, which consists of purposely improvising using notes that clash with the written changes. Of course, this is done temporarily in the middle of a phrase, and the player usually returns back to the proper changes before concluding the phrase. This is exactly what you heard me do in the opening phrase. And you'll notice that it creates a very strong feeling of tension and resolve. Traditionally, the tension and resolve effect is best conveyed when playing a dominant chord, which resolves a perfect fifth down to either a major or minor chord. Based on this practice and these examples, I will be superimposing the outside phrase where I would normally play the 5 chords proper scale. Even though I'm only going to show you 2 examples here, one descending and one ascending, if you download the lesson PDF, you'll get a total of 6 examples you can use. And I have conveniently placed a link below this video to my site for this specific purpose. Now, before we get started, I just want to mention that if you feel like you are not ready to incorporate this concept into your solos, you can still benefit from it. Just practicing these lines will serve as a great exercise to learn how to play perfect fifths over any set of 2 strings throughout the fretboard. And you'll notice that we are not only playing fifths over 2 consecutive strings, but we're also going to do some string skipping here. So having said that, let's examine the descending phrase I played at the beginning. For this, I am going to play a 2-5-1 in G major. So A minor 7, D7, and G major 7. Like I mentioned earlier, I am going to insert the pattern when I'm over the 5-7 chord, which in this case is D7. And I'm going to improvise around it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The formula that I am playing here always resolves to the root or the 9 of whatever chord you decide to target. Now, here is what you have to keep in mind. When starting the pattern, you are not thinking over the 5 chord. Instead, you are thinking of what the first note of the pattern represents intervallically in relationship to your target chord's root. My target chord's root is G, and for this to resolve to its root, I always have to start on the minor third of the root, which in this case is B flat. And so every time I start a minor third up from the root on the first string, I will end up on the root on the 4th string, at least with the fingering I'm showing you. Now, if you stop to think about it, once you learn the pattern, knowing where to begin should come easy for you and any guitarist. This is the highest note on the infamous minor pentatonic you've been playing probably since you first picked up a guitar, you know, root minor third. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty cool stuff, eh? But it is worthless if you can't improvise some good sounding lines around it. So, a word of advice. Don't try playing outside if you still cannot play inside convincingly. You'll be putting the cart before the horse. And if this is your case, I want to take a brief moment to invite you to check out my online course, the Bebop Guitar Improv Series. Just check out the link below this video. So, after having made that disclaimer and plugged my online course, let's return to what I mentioned initially, that this phrase is based on Coltrane's giant step cycle. The phrase consists of 4 16th note groupings. If we play the first note in each of the 4 groupings, we end up with chord tones that belong to the first 4 chords in the giant steps progression. So to demonstrate this, I am going to transpose the pattern to start on the 7th of a B major 7, which happens to be the first chord in giant steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So depending on your level of proficiency, you not only have a line in fifths to modulate outside, but you now also have some new vocabulary to apply over giant steps. Stick with me. What is coming up is powerful. To conclude, I want to show you an ascending line in fifths to also modulate outside. This one, however, is not based on the giant step cycle. This was personally inspired by Wes Montgomery's intro on 4 on 6. So using this intro, I came up with the following line. Now the formula to this line consists of starting a whole step below the note you want to resolve to an octave up. In this case, I want to resolve to the major third of my target chord. So again, I'm going to play a 2-5-1 in G major. Since the major third of G is B, for it to work, I have to start on A, an octave below. 2, 3, 4. So say I want to play over a 2-5-1 in G minor. I need to resolve to B flat, which is the minor third. That means I have to start the line on A flat, an octave below. And notice that this time I'm going to start on the 6th string and end on the 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you enjoyed this lesson and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and be sure to click on the bell icon so you won't miss anything. Have fun and see you in the next video.